All right, try that. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. Hopefully the audio is working. So let's roll back a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. I guess I unplugged the mic earlier, or you know how it goes. I'm an idiot. Cool. All right, so welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy. It's Thursday night, and we are going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people in the room. I already did this already, but only my dogs heard me, so there it is. Now we've got Kevin in the room. We've got Rome Dog. We've got Kid, and we got Kinsley Loves Puppies, which is cool because that's actually what we're working on tonight. I mentioned just a moment ago before, but you guys couldn't hear it. I've been on this kick where I've been doing these stylistic pictures where I do kind of like a background in watercolor and then come back over it and draw with pastel. Oh, we got Davio in the house too. Cool. So I wanted to kind of continue practicing that. So I was thinking of like different kinds of pictures that I could do with it, and a Beagle came to mind. It's actually a Beagle model that I've used before, like a reference picture that I used before. So it might look similar to some of you guys. I did a copy painting with the Beagle before, but I think this is going to be different because this one's in color and it's going to be stylistically different. So if that's cool with you guys, I'm going to jump right in. Hopefully you guys enjoy that and we can just hang out. Want to give a shout out to Coop Art as well, who just popped in. That's cool. So as you can see, just to kind of give you background, if you go watch my last two streams, you kind of know how this works. I do a background in watercolor. The messier, the better. I like this style. I think it's cool. I'm not trying to like make anything recognizable here. I'm just dumping watercolor on the paper and kind of creating some cool stylistic effects. While doing that, I'm kind of trying to keep an idea of where different pieces of the composition are. So you can kind of like, if you kind of squint your eyes or pretend like you're looking at clouds and seeing elephants and stuff, you can kind of see the dog's face here already and kind of like the back and things like that. And then after that dries, I come back with a coat of clear gesso, which is like this stuff here. It gives it kind of like this sandy, tooth to the paper and stuff so that I can draw on it. And that's it. That's the prep work. And then I jump in and I start drawing. So hopefully you guys forgive me for the mess up in the beginning. I swear one of these days I am going to have a perfect stream where I remember all the things and I don't screw up. That is not going to happen anytime soon. So I think the first thing I want to do here is I do kind of want to change some of the dimensions of this dog. I was looking at my watercolor and I'm like, nah, I kind of want the dog to be a little bit wider. So the cool thing is I don't have to go back and fix any of that watercolor. I can just kind of fill that stuff in with the pastels. So I'm just going to do that. But yeah, so it is Thursday night. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to the weekend. Oh, Davio, yeah. So you're out in California. It sounds like you're safe from the fires. That's cool. Hopefully nothing happened to your place or people you know and stuff. I think universally people have been looking at those fires with like, wow, feel bad for everybody involved. I don't know if I mentioned or not, but I've been out to California a couple of times myself. I love it out there. That place is the fires are a little bit different from where I was staying. I was staying in Marina del Rey, which is a cool little marina over by Venice Beach, and I love Venice Beach. Venice Beach is awesome. But I kind of know where you guys were, and I did drive. Like I wanted to drive up the Pacific Coast Highway a little bit while I was there, so I did journey up to where those fires are, and it's just beautiful up there. It's a real shame. Lots of pretty houses, pretty scenery. I like that area because it overlooks the ocean. It's just a real shame. Artist, producer, engineer, and marketing. One guy, Jeremy. Well, apparently not an audio guy, so I appreciate it. But yeah, I screw up, man. And then chances are the video mess up at some point during this live stream. I'm just here to draw. I can't do the technical side of it, which is strange because that's kind of like what I do. I don't know. I'm not a hardware guy. That's the problem. I'm a software guy. So as far as making sure all these wires and stuff hook up. And also I'm super cheap, right? So I don't have the like the latest and greatest equipment. I'm using my phone as my camera up here, and then I've got like a simple webcam looking at me. And that's all wired up to my computer through like a piece of software that works half the time, doesn't work the other half. So you get a very low budget art show here, but you know, hopefully you guys still enjoy it. Hopefully I make up for my lack of um, equipment with like an award-winning personality. I don't know. All right, so now that I've got that kind of backside fixed a little bit, I'm gonna move into like getting some of these recognizable features that you guys might like you know, eyes. Eyes on a dog are just the windows to the soul. So I kind of, whenever I'm doing these live streams, I kind of want to get these kind of features in quickly so that you guys have an anchor point to kind of fix on. I don't imagine everybody watches. Like maybe there's some people out there, maybe Kid watches the entire live stream, but I imagine some of you guys are out there watching football or something while watching. I don't know. Is football even on Thursdays? But you probably got this on while you're doing other things, which is totally cool with me. But I figure let me put in some things so that when you check back later, they're in here. Happy birthday. Oh, it's Rum Dog's birthday. Happy birthday, man. Sweet. Congratulations on another trip around the sun. Gonna happen to a better guy. We like Rum Dog here. He's like, he's one of my only mods. I need to make Cabin a mod too. So these beagles, I love beagle dogs. I've never owned one myself, but they're just beautiful dogs. Out of like all the different breeds out there and stuff, they're definitely one of my favorite. They just seem like they've seen some things, like they've seen it all, and they're just like really super chill, you know. We need to give this guy a name. I think when I did the coffee art one, we named him Fred, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll give this guy a different name. So part of like what I do, and you notice how I did it over here. I mention this every time I do it. I like to add in some background, and then you see how that like has the lines in it and stuff like that. You can see that it's drawn almost immediately after doing that. And you don't have to do this. It's just my process. Is I immediately kind of blur it out. So I wanted to kind of look blurry, like a photo might in the background. And then over that, I put details that are like stronger and more defined. And that's kind of like the optical illusion that I create, I think, or how I accomplish some believability to it, I think. The other strange thing is I never know how these things are going to go, but they always just seem to magically turn out okay. So you got to just trust the process. A lot of people talk about that, but it really is the true thing. Just trust the process and just hope for the best, and usually it works out. All right. I think I'm going to add some color to his eyes, and I think I'm going to go with this. Go ahead and get those eyes in there. I mention this every time too. I love pastels. I love how they're just kind of like so soft, and they create like a very soft picture. You can spend like a lot of time on a pastel drawing, or you can spend just relatively short amount of time. And either one is going to get you some cool. I mean, the art's going to be different for each way, but you'll get really nice art out of it. I have seen people do these ultra realistic photos or like photorealistic pictures, drawings in this way, where they're doing basically the same thing. They just do more of it and like over longer periods of time. So they'll come in and do exactly what I'm doing here, but they'll like add more layers on top of it or something. There's only so much that I can do in the kind of block I give for doing these live streams. Kid says, haha, I do watch it all. I usually go back and watch Cal or Ben after you stream if they stream the same time. Yeah, like when I picked these days, mostly because nobody else was doing anything on these days. And then like suddenly they're doing stuff too, which, that's fine, I guess. But I did make an effort to like pick dates that they weren't doing it because I know some of you guys like to watch them and stuff, and I want to be respectful of that. So I try to break it up a little bit and not compete with others on their stream days. But that's just the way it goes. Um, at this point, like I'm kind of set on these days. I like it. I like the days that I pick because like Mondays, it's like, Mondays are my more productive work days. Like I get other things done in life, not art related. And then I really wanted to do Fridays. I really enjoyed when we used to hang out on Fridays and like that was great going into the weekend. We'd have a nice little show. It was great. But then I found that, and I think I mentioned this, the problem with that is that everybody does their art related stuff on Fridays. So like all the galleries are open on Friday. So like there's something called a gallery hop here in Lexington. Oh crap, that's tomorrow too. Maybe I'll go to that. I've actually got a video of it somewhere in the archives, but there is a gallery hop, and that's always on Fridays. And then there's other like art related events always on Fridays. Never on Saturday, never on Sunday. That'd be more convenient. It's always on Fridays. So that's why I don't do my live streams on Fridays anymore. I would love to do that. It would be better for me, but just mentally or whatever, coming down off of a week would be awesome. So, just building up layers. So like you may have noticed here that had had the black outline of the eye, added a little bit of brown, added a little bit of highlight over that. Starting to get a realistic eye going here. Ways to go. And then I think I'll go ahead and add this now, but usually I wait until the end. I grabbed this other pastel because it's super soft, and the softer it is, the easier it is to overlay things. So let me just kind of get these little highlights in here. That was tough. Yeah, getting a little bit of highlight in there. Let me change that up a little bit. Let me go with this one here. I think this is going to be softer. It's going to show up. Yeah, that's better. I really want this white to be opaque so that it stands out. There you go. See, get that nice little glow on the eye. And these things, they end up looking glassy, which is perfect for an eye. And looks like an eye. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, so like I kind of like the schedule now, where I do this on Thursday. I think Thursday is kind of cool because like everybody loves Fridays, so like you go to bed after watching this. I don't know, some of you guys out west and stuff, maybe it's not bedtime yet, but certainly on the East Coast, you can go to bed right after watching this. And you wake up, it's Friday, you're in a good mood, you're ready for the weekend. I think that's looking good as far as an eye goes. So you also got like, some fur and stuff that kind of comes out of there. There's another little white. These are so hard to draw with if you're just like, it takes some practice. So in order to get like really fine lines, so I've got pastel pencils as well, but you can draw with these chunks. And the way you do that is like you can draw fine details just by kind of grabbing the very corner of it and just taking your time and being very careful with it and stuff. And you can get just as precise or more precise than you can with the pencil. It gets a little tedious doing it all the time, but I'm in the habit. So anyway, we got an eye. That's cool. Let me kind of get in the other eye. There's not much to see on this other eye over here. This other eye is kind of you know, looking off. It's behind the rest of the, it's mostly eyelashes over here. So, kind of get that in there. I did I thought I'd get some feedback from you guys. So like I kind of like this style. I did that horse, I did the owl. I think most people like the horse over the owl, but it's still I like both of them. I like this style. You know, it matters to me what you guys think. So like if you guys didn't like it, if you guys thought it like this is dumb or whatever, I'd like to know. Um, but I was kind of curious what you guys thought of it. I think it's kind of cool. I think it matches the kind of like line between clean art and grunge art, I guess. Um, so I like it, but if you guys think it's weird, then maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. I bow to peer pressure. Alan says, did you ever have a beagle or a hunting dog? No, I would love to. That's why I kind of mentioned a little while ago. I would love to have a beagle. These are awesome dogs. They just seem like they make up every single bit that like everything you would expect from a dog, right? So like, uh, I like all kinds of dogs, but if you get one of those like little Chihuahua dogs or something like that, you have to really like those kind of dogs. You have to be prepared for a Chihuahua. Beagles are just like every bit like the what you grow up thinking a dog is. Loyal, sweet, cute, floppy, just everything you want from a dog. And there's a couple of other breeds that are maybe like that. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but certainly a beagle is like an all around just good dog, good boy. They're cute. But yeah, I don't go hunting myself, but I mean, they're uh, they're super cute. I would love to have one. Dogs make the world a better place indeed. True love. Thanks, Jessica. I agree. Kevin says, no, 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 keep on. I was showing a coworker who paints. I think I showed you one or two pieces before. She was really dug this. Oh, cool. All right. Neat. That's a thumbs up from Kevin. Yeah, honestly, like, I'm not just saying it. I really do respect others' opinions, but certainly your guys' opinions on things. You guys watch the show and stuff. I want to make sure that you guys are happy with stuff, so that you guys continue watching, which would be good. And like if you guys totally hated something, I'd be like, oh, okay, well maybe I should dial it back a bit. I don't think you guys have been overly critical of anything that I've done, which is cool. I appreciate that. Um, but I allow for it. You guys would not hurt my feelings. In fact, okay, I constantly say like maybe I might even agree with you. Like if I think something sucks, but yeah. So I like working right over the watercolor because like I said, this realistic effect and stuff over that grungy kind of look, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool style. Jessica says, I've always had bulldogs. What a personality. Yeah, definitely. Lorraine's in the house. Hey, how's it going? I had a beagle when I was growing up, sweetest dogs. Yeah. So the dog I've got now, Bear, she is super sweet as well. But I would imagine like with the beagle, it's just comes natural. Like they can't help but be sweet. Not all dogs are like that. Like I guess all dogs are different. I had a Chow Lab mix once, and it had the weirdest personality. She would because she was a Chow, she wasn't the friendliest dogs to others, but then because she was a Lab, she was like super friendly to me. So she had like the split personality. She hated everybody else. She was like so loving to me. Um, my dog Guinness, which is my little black dog. He's got one of those I just don't care personalities. He's sweet and adorable, but he really just doesn't care. Um, my dog Bear, she's just all heart. I like your focus on the eyes. Dog's eyes say a lot. They don't hide anything. Thank you. I agree. Um, I say often that, like, you got one job, right? Like if you get whenever you're doing a portrait, it doesn't matter if you're doing a portrait of an animal, if you're doing a portrait of a human, you've got one job. You got to get the eyes right. If you don't get the eyes right, you fail. And I do fail a lot, especially when drawing humans and stuff. I don't really pull it off. I'm working on that, but you got one job. If you get the eyes right, everything else falls into place. Like will forgive you on other mistakes, little mistakes, whatever, big mistakes even, as long as you get the eyes right, because that's what they're looking at. And like I've learned over time, there's like little tips and tricks for getting people to care, like focus on a particular thing. So like um, one of the benefits of this, so because things are small in here, I have to switch the pastel pencils. So I'm trying to remember what I need to like actually tell you guys. Um, I will use bigger material until I get to these like little areas here where I kind of have to switch to pencil. Anyway, there are some tricks to getting people to focus on the things you want. Um, like Alan said, um, it's no mere accident. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this area of the face because like this is where I want to draw your attention to, because I want you to see this puppy's eyes. I want you to focus on this puppy's eyes, and I want you to fall in love with my drawing because it's the puppy. I want you to fall in love with this puppy, and by proxy, my drawing through the eyes. So I'm really spending a lot of time putting in details here that if I was working down here and stuff, I wouldn't care as much because like I don't want to draw your focus there. So that's the takeaway. If you're like a young new artist or something like that, and you're looking for tips and tricks, I don't have a lot of them, but that's one I would definitely give. Is that wherever you want people to actually look, spend all your time there. It really puts your details in there. Don't worry so much about the other areas, because like there's a bunch of different ways to move somebody's eyes through your picture, and one of them is through contrast, and that's how you build contrast. Highly detailed areas contrast with the areas that are not detailed. So your eyes are going to focus on his eyes or hers. I guess this could be a girl dog, and not through here, because this is like nothing for your eyes to grab onto. So it's like this little magic trick. And it's not like I invented it. This is like just something that all artists either know or learn or just instinctively do. You you drive people through the picture using detail or other ways of contrast. So like darker areas, so light area, dark area, your eyes are going to move across the paper. Just little things. Sorry, my nose has been leaking a lot, so hopefully this doesn't gross you out. My son has slobber and bubbles on the bulldog. Yeah, I love dogs that just like are always doing that. That dog. It took me a while. Like I've always loved dogs and I've always wanted dogs in my life and stuff, but it was tough for me to take on the responsibility for a dog, like as a young person. Um, Maybe like I think like late teens, early adulthood. I didn't really want to take on the responsibility for a dog. It was different when like I was watching my parents' dog or something like that. When I had to watch a dog, I was reluctant. But you know what? I bit the bullet, got a dog. I was talked into a dog, and I've never looked back. Like it doesn't matter your circumstances in life. Um, if you like, I guess like if you're really in dire straits and stuff, maybe you can't afford a dog, but most people can. But like it's worth it. It is worth taking care of a dog. I've got a niece, and she's got like kids of her own, that they don't have a dog and stuff, and it just bothers me. Like if you're watching, get a dog. The benefits of a dog, it cannot be overstated. And you have other animals and stuff like that too that you can have pets as pets and stuff. I have a cat. I love cats. I had a bunny until recently. My bunny unfortunately passed away this past year. Uh, I love bunnies. I'll probably get another bunny. I like mice. Like I like little tiny mouses and stuff. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Like mice aren't for everybody, but I like that show Pinky and the Brain. And ever since then, I like having the idea of a lab rat that I don't actually do experiments on. For me, that's kind of fun. Uh, so I don't have a mouse, but I would have a mouse, I guess is what I'm saying. So you can vary up some of the colors. So I should mention that. So I'm using browns, obviously, but light hits dogs in different ways. This area here is white, so that's a perfect opportunity to use a different color. In this case, I'm using yeah, like a French violet, I think it's called, but to me, it's just like a purple, right? So I'm trying to introduce some visual interest with some other colors. It may not show up very well because of my lighting in here kind of sucks, but even when I was doing the watercolor, I had a little bit of purple here. Purple works really well with the orange, so does blue. So I'm just kind of bringing that element into like other areas. So here in the white, white isn't white, and white is a mixture of white and shadows, and it could be grays, it could be blues and stuff like that. In this case, I'm using a little bit of purple and a little bit of blue and stuff, just to kind of like create some additional visual interest for those areas. Not necessary, you don't have to, but I mean, growing up doing like I used to draw comics and stuff like comic book kind of stuff as a kid, just because like I was a boy and boys draw comic book stuff. um I had another pencil around here and I can't find it now. But anyway, so like one of my favorite characters to draw was a GI Joe by the name of Storm Shadow, and he was a ninja who wore like a white ninja outfit, right? So when drawing that, I would read the comics and stuff, and the comics all had him. Sorry, I got to reach across the paper here just to grab this on here. There we go. All right. Um, so the comics would always have him, in his white outfit and stuff like that, but they'd still have to draw like shadows and stuff. So they always use like a light blue for the shadows. So I just kind of like grew up doing that and stuff. So now anytime I work in light blue, or anytime I work with white, I started thinking light blue for the shadows and stuff like that, and it works out really well. Light blue on snow, for example, and stuff. I mean, it makes sense. So anyway, sometimes I don't talk very well, but point is, white is never just white. It's you have to remember that when you're doing something that's in white, it's also gray, it's also blue. Well, it's also shadow, essentially. And shadow can be represented in grays, but also why not add a little bit of color? Kinsley loves puppies says, this beagle is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. You love puppies, so if you love this, I've done my work. Okay, Larry says, beagle looks amazing. Hey, everyone. Hardest part of owning a dog is losing a dog. 100%. I'm old enough that I've lost several dogs in my life, and I gotta say, man, it is the worst. I haven't, uh, like you lose people as well and stuff like that, but it's just as painful as losing like a human loved one. They are family, they are everything, and it sucks. It really does. There's nothing good about it. Um, I have had the terrible experience of watching dogs die in front of me and stuff. It is not good. It is haunting, to say the least. To carry that around with you and stuff, it sucks. But and it's tough because like whenever you have a dog, you're like trying to enjoy yourself with the dog for as long as the dog is around, and like in the back of your mind, you're like, I've only got so much time with this dog, and I think you just have to kind of like find some way of realizing that you just actually it's a great metaphor, really, because like you do only have a certain amount of time with your dogs and stuff, and there's no better lesson, I guess, than to appreciate the time you have with not just your dogs but humans and all that. Um, there's no better way to learn that lesson than through a dog because you've only got so much time with the dog, and that's always something hanging over your head. Now you've got plenty of time, like the dogs can live for like 15 years or something like that. So or longer even in some cases. I think I don't know. I don't know what the upper limit is of a dog, but you've got time. So I don't want you to not get a dog just because like I'm like trying to sell you on the concept of getting a dog. Everybody should have a dog. By the end of the show, you should have a dog. Go find a dog. If you don't have a dog, get one from your neighbor. This this episode is brought to you by Get a Dog. No, I just love dogs. The benefits of having a dog far outweigh any kind of like drawback. Like I do have like fear of losing my dogs. None of my dogs are young anymore, and it's something I think about. My parents had dogs that I was watching, and they just recently passed away, so it's fresh in my mind. Um, one of the dogs had cancer. That's not fun to watch. There are two dogs that I've had to take to the vet and have them, euthanized. It is not anything I ever want to do. I didn't like it at the time. It's just something about being an adult that you have to do it. It's not fun. But let's not focus on the dread. Dogs are also here for the duration, and there's nothing more loyal or worthwhile than having a dog. Better than having a cat. Cats don't care. Cats will stab you in the back. Cats will cut you in your sleep. Not just kidding. There are many dogs in the shelter in Pasadena. Foster a dog. Yes. So if you're wondering where to get a dog, just go to a shelter. I will say, I've never had a purebred dog myself. I've always had mutts. Um, but I know people who do have purebred dogs and stuff. Get a mutt. Mutts last longer. There's plenty of them at the shelter and stuff. You don't have to pay a ton of money to get one. Um, you're doing the population as a whole a favor by adopting a pet. If you have a PetSmart in your area, something like that, usually on like weekends or whatever, they have like a pet adoption. That's where both my dogs came from. They're both rescue dogs of some sort, but I got them through PetSmart when they had them on a weekend. So just to kind of let you know, I always have like a bunch of pencils in my hand. So um, some of the stuff is occurring off screen, so I should probably do it here. So I'm grabbing a little bit. This is actually charcoal. It's not pastel, but charcoal. Just because my black pastel like died on me, so I'll come and grab some pastel, or sorry, some charcoal. I'll just kind of come in and just kind of like draw with my blending stump and create like a little bit of darker areas, kind of fill this in because like the nose area is going to be kind of like this. So I just kind of want to make this all dark and just kind of like blend it all in together, and then I'll come back and I'll worry about like details on top of that. Hey Edie, how's it going? Happy New Year's from New York City, guys. Hope 2025 is a great one for all of you. You as well. Alan says, your dog's eyes are important because unconditional love can. Yeah, we had Dottie for almost 17 years. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, you know, part of the reason why I do this is because I want to get better at drawing dogs because, like, one of my passions is that when people's pets do pass away, I like to draw, dogs to kind of cheer them up, I guess, or like as memorials. So I want to get better at it and stuff, just so that I'm better at that. Usually, when somebody, pet passed away and stuff like that, they're not going to beat me up too much if the picture doesn't come out looking perfect. But I still want to do a really good job. Beagles have like all these little spots in their face too. I love drawing those. Those are fun. So I've got, like I said, a bunch of different pencils up here. So I'm going to grab some of the brown. Same deal as what I'm doing with the charcoal. So you just kind of grab that. And instead of drawing with your actual pencil, you're drawing with your blending stump. I just wanted to kind of show that since, you know, that's something that I was kind of doing off camera, and that's not right. So like this stuff kind of just like blends in. Sometimes I'm fascinated by this stuff too. Like when something's looking good and stuff, I get pretty excited about it, and I just kind of like show and tell, you know, like when something's working out, I'm like, oh, hey, did you see that thing I did there? And this is how I did it. So sorry if that annoys anyone, but happy birthday to Rome in doggy heaven. Oh, it's Rome the dog. Sorry, I thought it was you, Rome dog. I thought it was your birthday, but no, your dog. His birthday is cool as well. When a pet dies, it's like losing a family member. Absolutely. So dogs' noses are black, but they're not really black. They reflect the environment around them. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this kind of like bluish gray here, just to kind of like highlight some of the stuff, and then also to create some structure. And again, I really want to keep everything soft. So like every time I put down something, I either like, oh, okay, that's a detail I like, so I'm going to leave it be, or I'm like, okay, I don't think that that's really the top layer yet, so I'm just going to blend it out, and then I'll come back over it. So it's like this push pull from like layers to layers, you know? All right, so I think that looks cool. Okay, I'm going to put all these like stack of pencils down just because like I don't need to be holding them for this next part. Okay, so this next part, you know, I want to actually get some highlights in here. This is how you actually create your three-dimensionality. So you've got your base there already. You come back, add a little bit of highlights over it. So you got kind of like this gray area here. You just put in one little spot or two of white, and now it's automatically like these little details. These little details go so far. You know, put like a few little white lines kind of coming in because it's like fur. Down here, he's got a little bit of mustache. Kind of add a little bit of white outline to that. These are the little things that people are like, oh my god, that's a cool picture, right? But you see how they're so easy. I mean, not easy, but you know, they're so small as far as like the work that you're doing, but they make a really big impact. So maybe you went a little too far with the white, like I did. You kind of come back, blend that out. You just kind of do this little dance, this little push pull between the things. Regal Beagle. Larry, I hope I don't get any more. It's still on the ground since. Oh, talking about the snow. Yeah. So how's that snow going for you, kid? Hopefully, we still have snow out there. It's been what, 2 weeks or something like that? Maybe longer. We've had snow out there for. It is still out there. And it's still pretty thick too. Like I saw some kids out there sledding today. It's nuts. What are you doing, snow? Go away. You're done. We don't need you anymore. It was fun when you first came. You know that's the way snow always is. It's like, oh wow, first snow of the year. It's like, oh wow, so cool. I love snow. And then like you know, like 2 weeks later, the snow's still on the ground. It's like, geez, snow. Just can we quit already? Sammy and Popinski. Nice to see you. What time do you start your streams? So I usually start my streams at 8 o'clock on in the Eastern time zone. So I live in Kentucky, which is Eastern time zone in the United States. In case you're abroad, so that's usually when I start my streams, and I'm pretty consistent unless there's some reason I can't make it, in which case I will leave a note on the community posts if I can't make it. But I'm pretty consistent about doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then rarely, sometimes during the summer, but not usually during the winter, um, I get like, I get in this mood where I really, really want to draw a lot and stuff. And then I'll do like a Saturday stream. And since since all my other streams are in the evening, I usually do a Saturday stream, like, I don't know, early in the morning or something like that. So I appreciate you guys stopping in. So like, you know, I see some new faces. or new account names at least over the last couple of days. Um, I appreciate it. I really do. Um, I don't have like a lot of people who watch this thing, and it's a lot of fun for me to talk to you guys. So keep it coming. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. As you can see in the chat, I should have 100,000 followers. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. I don't really think so. Like I know there's people out there who do have 100,000 followers, and they are really exceptional artists and stuff. I'm working my way up to that. We'll see someday. But yeah, so like I appreciate you guys coming in here. As you can see by the chat, everybody seems super chill. Everybody's really cool. If somebody did act up and stuff, I would boot them or like put them in timeout or something like that. But that rarely ever happens. I think that's only happened like once or twice. So for the most part, everybody's cool. And like if you just like hanging out and stuff, and as you can see, it's like a really chill vibe. I mean, you just like hanging out, talking with people. Some of the people in here are like other artists. Oh, you love my art style. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Other people in here are like artists. Some people just hang out, some of you guys are like friends in real life, and other people I met through like treasure hunting is one of my hobbies. So like I met some of you guys through those communities. And I don't know, just it's kind of cool how people come together. You never really know. But yeah, we've got some artists, and the age range is so like that's my only rule actually. Is like kind of keep it family friendly, just because there are some younger people who pop in here sometimes. You can't really tell anybody just by their comments and stuff what age they are and stuff. But like sometimes when people subscribe, I go to their channels and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, I should watch my language, because they're a little on the young side. So I try to watch my language every now and then. I slip, but yeah, I ask that you guys do as well, and most people have. So like I appreciate it. In fact, I probably dropped a few bad words more than anybody else. So, but yeah, as far as like topics you guys can talk about, you're from Pennsylvania, draw, paint yourself. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Kevin's like, we really we usually talk about food. That is the truth. Yeah, you guys can talk about whatever. I've got all kinds of cool like hobbies myself. I grew up watching X-Files, so like I love a good like UFO story or talking about Bigfoot or something like that. I'm kind of like on the skeptical side myself, but I do love a good story about that kind of like paranormal stuff or whatever. So you guys can love. I would love it if you guys talked about that. I'd probably join in. But you guys can talk about whatever. Usually people kind of stay off the politics, which is good because I'm not into politics. Most of the people in here aren't. So, you can talk about politics, but I don't think you're really going to get a conversation going just because most of us are kind of politics tone deaf. We're just like over it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, as long as you keep it family friendly, I don't care what you guys talk about. I like to talk about some of the stuff I'm watching, whenever I have time. And right now, I'm still trying to get caught up on Arcane on Netflix, which is a great show. I just haven't had the chance. And I'm caught up, but one episode behind on finishing up Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus, which is a great show. I know that not everybody has a Disney Plus account, so not everybody's following that, but great show. I love it. It's like Goonies in space. It's really good. Not every Star Wars show is good, so I just wanted to mention that because this one is one of those exceptions. I don't like the shape there, so I'm going to carve some of that off. Had pizza for dinner. Nice. I had egg rolls. I love egg rolls. I love pizza too. Pizza, can't go wrong with pizza. Like honestly, you cannot make a bad pizza in my opinion. I think some pizzas are better than others, but yeah, politics exactly, Edie. Yeah, so that's I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are into politics or something like that, but I'm kind of over it. Like I mean, I kind of care. Like, I think that people should care and stuff like that. But man, I am so over it. I'm a little apathetic, which is probably bad, but it is where I'm at. I kind of just want to. I don't. I really don't know. So, because I don't know, I don't have anything to say about it. That's the problem. I don't have anything to say about it. Uh, I am looking forward to some Marvel shows. Like I know that like not everybody in the audience and stuff is as big a Marvel fan as I am, but I am super excited about Marvel this year. Um, in February, we've got Captain America. Probably not the strongest Captain America movie that like it's been out there. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to have Red Hulk in it. I'm happy enough with Sam Wilson as Captain America. I know not everybody is, but at some point you got to replace people, and I think he was a good replacement. Um, I'm kind of looking forward to like the Red Hulk. Harrison Ford is in it playing the Red Hulk. I think that's gonna be cool. But more importantly, I'm super excited about Daredevil, which is also coming up. I think in March. That's gonna be awesome. I'm a I'm a huge Marvel fan. Have been for like a long time. The Daredevil on Netflix was just tone perfect. It was really good, and basically that's what they're resurrecting on Disney. And sometimes with these shows, you're like, oh, it's Disney. It's not going to be like the original and stuff. But the trailer just dropped the other day, and it looks just as good. So I'm pretty excited about that. Um, so that's the kind of nerdy stuff I get into. I'm a big nerd. Um, when it comes to movies, they're all like nerdy or cerebral or like adventure type movies and stuff like that. I don't watch normal stuff like people normally do. I don't watch sports. Yeah, you can talk about sports in here, but you're gonna have to talk amongst yourselves because I can't contribute. I don't know anything about sports. Apparently, there's like a Super Bowl or something that happens once a year that's coming up or whatever. Yay, sports ball! But that's not me. Uh, Family, religion, politics, and anything else polite society won't talk about. Yeah, those are great topics to just avoid. But yeah, most people. Yeah, okay, Larry. Yeah, people usually stay calm. Alan K's like thoughts on the drone. So I haven't really been following that story, but I've heard some wild things about it. Uh, I would not be surprised if it was any of the stuff that people have said. So if you said it was like some sort of government experiment, not experimenting, but like training missions or something like that, I would not be surprised. If it was like some foreign countries, like spy program and stuff, I would not be surprised. Basically, when it comes to drones, because it's new technology, I fully expect everybody to be experimenting with different things. So, like, I would not be surprised if there was not some sort of spy program going on there. That would be, I mean, not good if it was like a foreign country or something, but otherwise, I mean, it's kind of fascinating to me. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't really been following the story, Alan, but like, it does seem pretty cool. I know, like, everybody's talking about it. I make jokes all the time whenever I see something in the sky. I'm like, oh, there's those drones again. We haven't had any kind of crazy stuff like that around here. Like, I've always been into drones. Like, even some of the first incarnations of them. I don't own a drone myself, but like, I've played with some, and they're cool. I like them. A lot of them are in use around here and stuff for like, especially like horse shows. But you know, I don't think there's any kind of like spy program going on around here. We do live like near a chemical like weapons plant, so maybe I don't know. We also are close to like Fort Knox, which is like a huge army kind of like base with like mechanized cavalry and stuff like that. So I don't know. Edie says, hate sports except pool. Pool, yeah, that's cool. I didn't mean to rhyme there. It just happens. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this thing. Oh wait, I don't want to jump ahead. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing great on time. That's the other challenge when you're doing like a live stream on YouTube. Like part of it is like, oh, I want to create some really cool art, but also is like I need to manage my time. All of these things are great. Like I started this show just to get better at things myself, and one of them was being more creative, getting better at art and stuff. But also, it's like just getting better at managing my time, making sure I show up. All those things are important to me because I want to be, a productive person, I guess. Um, so one of the things that doing live streams has taught me is like, you know, got to manage your time and stuff. Make sure that you get things done, or else you're going to end up with a half-finished picture, which some people do. Like some people when they do live streams and stuff of art, they're not trying to get the picture done in the amount of time that they're streaming. They just work on it a little bit and then call it a day and end the stream. I try to give you guys, like a full show where you see a picture from the beginning to the end, for better or worse. Um, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so this ear obviously is not where I want it to be, and I'm pretty happy with the face, so I'm going to move on to the ear. I think so. I should have done more on the ear when I was doing the watercolor side of it, because part of the thing of the watercolor is that you're dropping like large areas pretty quickly, so that you don't have to come back and do what I'm doing here. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of fill this in pretty quickly. Again, working on that soft layer at the bottom where you kind of blend everything out and it's super soft and you don't really have anything for your eye to kind of attach to. This is so that when you come back over it with, more detail, it kind of stands out. So, and I'm using my fingers to kind of blend. Obviously, you could be using blending stumps. You can be using, other things. Uh, Kinsley says, can someone tell me how to draw perfect dog ears? I want to draw my dog Mingo, but I'm struggling with his ears. That's a great question, Kinsley. So obviously, different dogs are going to have different ears and stuff. They're kind of like flaps. So the it's tough because like I don't know how to articulate the advice that I feel like you should have. But in my mind, you're drawing shapes, okay? So like you're not forget about what an ear might look like. Yeah, so forget about yeah, okay, all right. I can do this. I can give you some good advice. It's gonna be tough, but I can do it. So forget about what an ear looks like. Forget about what you think an ear looks like. And then you're gonna draw what you see. Okay. When you look at your dog, first off, take a photo of your dog. Don't try to draw your dog live. When you're first starting out, there's really no reason to have an active dog running around that you're trying to copy his ear. So start with the photo, and then look at the shape of the ear. So like if you look at this ear, there's a couple of shapes, right? So like you have a triangle here, okay, coming up, and then you have like kind of an oval here, all right? So don't try to draw an ear, draw a triangle and then draw an oval, okay? And then who knows what your dog's ear looks like, but that's what you're looking for, is you're looking for these big shapes, okay? And then once you get those big shapes in there and you kind of got it outlined, now I know that there's like shadow here, right? So that's a shape. You've got kind of a, kind of like a pillar here, and then you've got kind of like a pillar here. Over here, I haven't drawn it yet, but you have another pillar of shadow, okay? So you put those in. So you start with the big shape, and then you're kind of moving into the smaller shapes. The important thing is not to stress it, okay? That's important. Because you're never going to get anywhere if you just get frustrated with it. But it's all about drawing the big shape first and then moving into these smaller shapes, which it's probably, I don't know if I'm articulating it right, but that is probably the best advice I can give. Forget what you think an ear looks like and draw what you see. And when you're seeing it, you're thinking about shapes. So like even here, so like this is an oval, this is like a triangle coming off the oval and stuff. You're just putting all these pieces together. I haven't done it yet, but I would love to like do some 3D modeling you know, like the 3D modeling that people do for like video games and stuff like that. I would love to take a 3D model and kind of break it out, because when you look at those 3D models, that's exactly how they build them. So like if they're building a face for like a game character or something like that, they start with an oval and then they start extruding shapes out of it. So like they'll extrude like a triangle for the nose. They'll extrude like you know, like the structure of the mouth, and then like the individual lips and stuff like that. It's all building these shapes out. And then there's so that's one way of like modeling. The other way is you know, where they're using different planes. So like this is a plane, this is a plane, this is a plane. All of these different planes and stuff, like if you were doing it in 3D modeling, it would really stand out a little bit better than I'm explaining. But anyway, I would totally look at the shapes in your dog's ears and kind of work from that. Um, but good luck. I would like if you do draw your dog and you want to share it, feel my email address is on the channel page. Feel free to send that to me, and I'll share it with the audience and stuff like that if you want me to. 'Cause, like, I am kind of curious about the art that the viewers want, like actually create and stuff like that. I think that's kind of cool to share. But also, you got to remember, it is all shapes. So like, if I just drew, I don't know, like a triangle or something like this for this ear, that's not really a good representation. As you can see already, the ear is mostly like all these like weird shadows and stuff. Um, you know, the ear here kind of flops and kind of creates this like little pinch point that I just put in, and then it kind of comes up, and then it kind of comes around here. This edge here, and I don't mind drawing these like with quick strokes. This edge here is like a flap. It's almost like the ear, like your own ear and stuff like that. It's a flap, and then there's an interior. So this flap here has a ridge, and then it kind of slopes into the rest of the ear. So, you know, I like to think of drawing as almost like a science. Um, you know, like I don't want to be like pretentious and say that like I'm a scientist or anything like that when drawing, but it is kind of like a science. You're making observations of what you see in your dog's ear, and then you're recording it onto the paper. So that's 100% exactly what science is. Um, so if you think of it as a scientist, it really goes well, I think, because like you are doing that kind of back and forth, like observation, recording, observation, recording. So observation is that the shadow comes in through here, and then I'm recording it into the paper and stuff. And then I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, that kind of looks janky. I'm going to fix that. So then I come in with like a blending stump. Actually, I'm going to use one of my dirty blending stumps so that I don't have to mess up. And then I'm like, okay, I need to blend all this out. Now I would normally do this with my finger, but because it's like a smaller shape, I need to do it with this blending stump. Okay, so I guess that's the other thing that I would kind of note now that I think about it. You're never drawing a two-dimensional, well, I don't know, depending on your art style. Most people aren't trying to draw like a two-dimensional shape. They're trying to draw a three-dimensional shape. So three-dimensional shape, instead of just focusing on the shapes, I would also focus on the shapes in terms of how they're catching the light and catching the shadow. So like this shape that I showed you with the triangle and then the oval and stuff, now it becomes like, oh, okay, it's actually like inverted a little bit and stuff like that. You got this three-dimensional shadow from this ridge and stuff kind of dipping into this ear and stuff. So now it becomes a three-dimensional shape instead of just a two-dimensional shape. Most people aren't drawing two-dimensional shapes. They're not actually drawing triangles and ovals and so on. They're trying to draw three-dimensional shapes. I can probably explain that better, but you kind of caught me off guard with a real question about art. I'm not used to answering those. So bear with me. All I can say is that, you know, please come back and check out future things. I'll try to think of better answers for the future. But that's a great question. I don't usually get a lot of art questions on this show. I usually get like, oh, that's cool and stuff. What do you think about aliens? You know, that's even. What do you think about chicken pot pie? You know. But no, that's a great question. I appreciate that. Yeah. So like, okay, you're always thinking about three-dimensionality. So now I've got this really dark ear. I have a picture of Mingo posted on my channel. He recently passed away, so I wanted to draw something to remember him by. That's excellent. I fully support that, and good luck. And you may not just want to draw one picture. You may want to do this is probably a big word, but iterations. So like that's where you're like doing the same thing over and over and over again until you get it right. So you might want to try like several iterations of your picture and stuff before you're happy with it. Like this is probably the third time I've actually drawn this exact dog, and it's just different styles, different ways of doing it, and so on. But you see how I'm kind of like modeling here. I'm not drawing really. I'm moving shadows around and stuff like that. So when I'm drawing shapes, the big shape is the head, but the small shape is like this little indentation here that's caused by the jowls and so on. So like it's almost like modeling with clay, except that you're trying to represent the clay with a pencil and color and all that jazz. Let's see if I missed anything. Gypsy Kiss coming back with AI. Oh no, that's so creepy. Look, I love Toby. Sorry, I'm answering Lorraine's question about a channel where they're doing AI hosts for almost like a podcast or something like that. Look, I love Toby. Toby and Shelly, they're rock stars in my book. But that AI stuff is kind of creepy. I hope that they I hope that they go back to just doing themselves. I get it. I get it. I know that Toby's an older age and stuff, and he probably feels a little self-conscious about putting himself out there at that age, but he really should, because like that AI stuff is like it's not quite there yet. Doesn't look realistic. There's that uncanny valley that people talk about where things look almost realistic but not quite, and it just kind of shuts down the brain. Oh, sorry. And then like this ear has like kind of a like a highlight here. So that's the other thing. Let's see. I'm gonna try to draw as many possible drawings of him, like different art styles. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. And Kinsley, as you're doing that, you're learning as you go. So I don't have the best advice for art because I'm still learning myself. I'm kind of self-taught. But if I had any advice, it would be do it a lot. Like the more you do art, first off, everybody does art. Like everybody's constantly creating things, whether they want to or not. But the more you're consciously doing art, the better you're going to get at it. Um, yeah. So my dog's back here sneezing. But yeah, you're just kind of drawing shapes, and those shapes become physical features. You're kind of mapping out the terrain of something. So like I just put in those like shadows there, blend it in. Now this ear has like a different shape, right? Bring that back around there. And then all of this blurred out stuff, like if you scrub back and look at what it started off as, it's apples and oranges. But all this blurred out stuff is perfect for me to come back with a lighter thing. So like I did all that dark. So now I'm going to come back with this lighter thing. I'm going to put details over it. So get some fur in here. See how that works? You're just constantly building up layers of layers on top of layers. So that back stuff was kind of blended out. I kind of want to blend this out a little bit more because I want to put a little layer over it. This is exactly how it works with painting as well. So like if you're painting with acrylics, paint, watercolor. Watercolor, not so much because, well, watercolors, yeah, you still do layers, but certainly with acrylics and like oils and stuff like that, you're building layers up. So like, okay, so you have a very dark line here. So watch what happens when I kind of come in and I put this like very light line over it. Suddenly it's got this three-dimensionality to it where it stands out. And I kind of like that, so I'm not going to blend it in. I kind of like the rough texture of that. So instead of blending that in, I'm going to come back and I'm going to use this other color to kind of like work around it. Bring that in. So now this whole flap here has been raised up. It's now this like three-dimensional object instead of just like shapes, You see what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. really love like coloring pages, but I draw well. You're a very good drawer. Thank you. Really inspiring me. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that's awesome. Yeah, you know, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, I hope that you stick around, come back and stuff. You seem like a younger artist. Like, you know, I all I can say is stick with it. I think it's a worthwhile effort. I think you'll enjoy it. Um, all right, so the other thing I'm looking at is the colors here, right? So like this kind of looks like a little bland compared to the face. So I'll take this like oranger color. I'll come in and, you know, give it a little bit of color. And that kind of creates this visual interest as well. So you're moving around the picture with various different things. And I may come in and I'll just like add like a little bit of like accent here and there and stuff just for visual interest, if that makes sense. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that ear so far. I think probably I'll want to add a little bit more highlight through here just to kind of lighten that up a little bit. I think it's a little too dark. So just kind of lighten that up. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I kind of want to like make the ear stand out, right? So like we're again thinking about Lorraine's falling in love with this puppy. Oh, that's awesome. Uh, what supplies are you using? Oh, okay. Thanks, Sammy. Sorry if I miss a question. Feel free to like at me, like it's at Jeremy Made Art, just so that it kind of pops out to me. But yeah. So like, what supplies are you using? Oils. So like, especially if you have like an art question or something like that. No. So I started it with a background of watercolor, and now I'm working with pastels over it. So there's no oil here. There's no acrylic. There's not no well, watercolor is all said and done. It's kind of locked into the page. Now I'm simply drawing over a background that I had added previously. So like you do the watercolor just to kind of give yourself a like a little cool background to work with, and then it's like straight up drawing. All right. So anyway, now I've got this ear. It's kind of a little flat. You want to kind of build it out from the head. So I want to add a little bit of darkness back behind this. So adding a little bit of shadow. I think I'll probably switch to my stick. It's kind of, and I don't want to go too crazy with this because I do want it to kind of remain a little bit watercolor. Just kind of want to get a little bit shadow in there so that the ear kind of stands out a little bit from the rest of the neck. And because I don't want that to be too rough, I'm just going to kind of blend that in a little bit. And it's nice and shadowed. Geppetto isn't at all sassy tonight. No, he's just sitting there chilling. Geppetto is my stick mannequin over here. He's been hanging out with me since day one. Eventually, the community gave him a name. I did like a poll. I love it. All right, so I don't want to get too crazy with that. I just kind of wanted to get that shadow in there, and then the outer edge and stuff like that. It's appropriate to kind of smooth that out. But then nothing's ever like one solid color, so I think I'll come in here and I'll add a little bit of visual highlight over it. Add a little splotches here and there. And then I think I want this line to be a little bit bolder. And then I kind of want this like little crease here and stuff to be kind of outlined as well. And then like a little bit of smoothing. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I kind of want to get this black line back in here, kind of clean this up a little bit. And then up here, and then around here. All right, So I'm pretty happy with that. Now down here, where the ear kind of touches against the neck, I'm not too worried about that. I think that's fine. I had a gray here. I think I'll just use this. Kind of want. So as I move away from that face, so like the face, I have to spend all this time doing detail and making sure everything's perfect. Now that I'm moving away from the face, down here, I can use like large chunks of color and stuff. And it doesn't matter because down here, it's all about like, you know, abstraction. So like, again, you want to move the person's face sorry, the person's, I'm getting stuff all over. You want to keep people's eyes on the detailed area, and then as you move away from that detailed area, it becomes less important. So down here, I can do like large swaths of color, and you know, it's fine. And not only is it fine, you want to kind of do that stuff to like highlight the mediums that you're using. So you want watercolor to do what watercolor does best, which is drip or splatter or something like that. You want pastel to do what pastel does best, which is these like large areas of you know, color and stuff like that. So here, where it's all smoothed out, kind of looks a little bland. Kind of bring that in with a few chunks of color. Again, don't have to be perfect. Just kind of like, you know, put that in. So I'm actually pretty happy with most of this stuff. Kind of want to do a little bit more down here. I want to kind of like develop this neck a little bit. Sorry if I get quiet sometimes when I'm thinking. So I kind of want this neck to kind of come down. I want you to see where the neck separates. So like through here, I kind of want to develop a little bit. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back over. So okay, I should explain what I'm doing. So I'm using smudging to kind of like put in some blended out dark area and stuff that I can work over, right? So like I'm just kind of smoothing all of this stuff in. And then, you know, this doesn't matter if you're like doing a beagle, doesn't matter if you're doing like any kind of wildlife with fur. Just put in this dark area here, loses all of its distinction, and then you kind of come back over that. So over that, I'm going to put in some white, kind of start creating this ridge, and you see automatically that this is creating some detail for you to focus your eyes on. I'm going to bring that white around here. I'm going to bring that white into some of this other stuff to kind of create fur. Got some visual interest there. Do like a little bit of white highlight through here. I'll come back to this part here because I kind of want to work on that a little bit. And then, sorry if that sounds weird. My dog's over here drinking. Come back over here, kind of do like a little line. All right, so that's all cool, I think. Let's get some. So I'm trying to like quickly get in some fur here and stuff like that. It's beautiful, Jeremy. Thank you so much, Edie. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys, you know, giving me great feedback. I thank you. Yeah, so when doing fur, you know, fur is kind of like its own little beast. So you just kind of put in these quick little marks. Now you can worry about the detail of this. In fact, I got a tip for that. I'm not set up for it, but I'll come back to that here in a minute. But yeah, you can kind of like quickly put in some of those marks, or you can take your time. It's up to you. Again, I try to get these pictures done in like 2 hours or less, usually like an hour and a half, and we're pushing an hour and 15 minutes. So I kind of want to get it done before then. But if you want to, if you're unsure, if you know, it works better for you to take your time, that's better. That's fine. Sometimes I feel like the quicker you go, the more loose you feel, um, and your art is better for it. So like if I took my time and I like really stressed every single like piece of fur and all that stuff, I feel like not only will it take forever, not only will I be second guessing myself, not only will I be overthinking it, the picture's not going to look as good. So I recommend like doing like just quick strokes. It'll take you a while to get like, comfortable doing that, but I think overall, the quicker you get there, the better. Just do quick strokes. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't sell this stuff. I just do it for the YouTube show. Um, so like if you're worried about how it looks and stuff from like a professional standpoint and stuff, maybe you can stress it. But honestly, I don't think it matters. Like I go to art galleries all the time because I'm not just like into drawing myself. I'm into looking at other people's art. And trust me, like when you look at art in an art gallery or museum or something like that, there is some thought put into the marks that are made. And I don't want to say that it's all just kind of random, but also it's not like they worried about every single mark. So just get over that. Get over trying to make everything perfect and trying to control everything because it's just not going to happen. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that actually. Trying to think. Um, get some white up in here. I think I need to work on that ear just a tiny bit. Yeah. All right, cool. Um, Let me work through here. Sorry, I'm doing like a mental checklist of like what all's left. Because I think we're getting pretty close actually to calling this done. It's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it. I like the style, like I said. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like drawing plus. It's drawing plus painting plus. It is a mixed media thing, so it's not like all drawing, it's not all painting, it's not any of that stuff. Let's see. A bit of highlights up here. Dog ears are kind of challenging. Same as human ears and stuff. You've got some weird shapes in here. You gotta create that three-dimensional bit. It's a push-pull between um, detail and not detail and abstraction. Also, I should note that one of the reasons why you do that clear gesso is so that you can do all these multiple layers. Like you may have seen me like put something down, almost immediately like remove it and then put it back in and stuff. You can only do that because there's tooth on the paper. I should mention that. Yeah. And if you run out of tooth, then it's almost like you have to like add fixant and then add more tooth or something like that. So I do want kind of like some oranges in here. But I love pastels. Pastels are so fun. If you haven't given pastels a try, I suggest it. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes the texture of this stuff. It is kind of, you know, like I get my hands dirty. Some people wear gloves when they do it. You don't have to do what I do. I'm a very tactile person. One of the reasons I create traditional art is because I enjoy getting my hands dirty. All right, so I actually think this is pretty close to being where I want it to be. There are, maybe some areas that I can touch upon. I'm happy with the eyes. I don't want to mess with that. So now it's like looking for like little quick pick me ups and stuff like that. Okay, so at risk of messing things up, I'm happy with everything, how everything is, but I'm also going to introduce a few little visual elements. So like, I'll put some purples in here, just because purples work really well with the oranges and all that. Because I got purple over here, might as well just put like a little bit of highlight over here. This is where you're starting to get a little bit fun with things. So, you know, the light is obviously coming from here, but there's no reason why you can't suspect that there might be some purple in the back. you know, I'm adding purple to the back, not necessarily because the purple exists in nature, just to make it cohesive. So like, because I introduced purple over here, might as well add it over here so that it all looks correct. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing is, because I'm using these cooler colors and stuff with the warmer colors of the oranges and browns and stuff like that, I'm going to introduce like a little bit of cooler color. That's a bit much. In some of these other areas. So like I'm adding a little bit, like it's hard to tell, but this is like it looks orange on screen, but it's kind of like a pinkish color. So that's kind of cool just to add, you know, just again, these are like little things for the eyes to catch on to and stuff, and little cool visual elements, I guess. 100% they are not necessary for creating just a simple drawing and stuff like that, but we're not trying to create a simple drawing, we're trying to create like a really cool drawing. With like a lot of cool visual style to it. So at this point, like when I'm looking at things, I'm looking at, okay, so this is kind of like this area and still here might be a little bit boring. Let's add a little bit of like highlight just to kind of break it up a little bit. And I'm looking at up here, same deal. Let me add, yeah, I can use this one. So it's just like little areas and stuff like that where you can put in detail for, actually, let me blend that out. Maybe that was a bit much. Yeah, I think that's better, actually. The problem with that pastel is it does kind of like, it is chalk, basically, and it kind of breaks down and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. I think it looks pretty cool. At this point, yeah, I think it's kind of done. There's more things that I can add to it. Sammy says you should start Discord so that we can all share our art. You know, that's a great idea. I love Discord myself. I spend a lot of time on it, so that is not something outside the realm of possibility. Maybe I'll do that. Dog agrees. Dog thinks it's great. Add a little bit of white over here. Yeah, I think that would be cool. That would be a great place to share different arts and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Edie. I do have an Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I don't know if TikTok's going to be around. I saw in the news that they were trying to get rid of that. But I am on TikTok. All my links and stuff are on the About section of or my like channel page. So feel free to check those out. I'm a YouTube person mostly, but I do have those channels as well. Like I have more people watching on YouTube than I do like Instagram and YouTube, TikTok and stuff. I don't know. This dog's whining. All right, I think I'm about done. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Dog's going nuts over here. That's Bear, by the way. They're saying TikTok is practically Chinese spyware. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Like, Bear, stop. Okay. Bear wants to be on the show. Might have to draw with Rome, a beard. Draw Rome with a beard. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That's my dog, by the way. You guys hear that? She wants to be on the show. All right, yeah, so hopefully you guys like this Beagle. I think I'm about done because I don't really want to Bear, relax. Okay. I don't want to really overdo it because I really want each of the visual elements to shine. Come here. Come here. Hop on the camera. You want to hop on the camera? All right, then shush. Okay. I don't really want to overdo it because what the heck? All right, come here. Come on. Come in. Up here. Come on. This dog. Anyway, if I can get a word in. Okay. I don't really want to overdo it because I want each of the visual things to... oh, there she is. Okay, great. I don't want to overdo it because I want each of the visual elements to like stand on their own. Like, I think in order to kind of pull off this style, you have to let the watercolor do the watercolor bit. You have to kind of like let the pastel part do the pastel bit. In fact, if anything, I did too much pastel here. I should have left more watercolor in it. But, you know, I'm still practicing. This is my third one in this style. So it is something that I'm going to develop over time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Jeremy, I think you should do bear next. Yeah, I've done Guinness, but not bear. I've done bear before, but not fully. But if you look at, all right, so if you look at this beagle, okay, hold this beagle in your mind, and then that's bear. It's practically the beagle. I mean, come on, like look at this adorable little whiner. Yeah. She's such a drama queen. That's what the problem is. Like she just wants to be the main character on the show. That's what it is. Anyway, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this beagle. I will put this guy up on the community tab, and then I'll probably make a short, like a little timed out lapse of it and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I will be back on Tuesday with another drawing. Usually I do like wildlife and stuff. I want to try to draw different things in 2025 than just wildlife, but I don't really know what those are and stuff. So I'm going to continue developing those ideas and developing my style. I appreciate you guys joining me on this journey. It's always fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you guys as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy my dog, even though my dog is like so much a drama queen. Anyway, I'll see you guys Tuesday. Have a good one. Stay cool. All right. Bye. Thanks.